up? It's the Black Eyed Peas, and you're watching the SoCal Prep Report.
How cool was that to have the Black Eyed Peas introduce us, knowing that they're going to perform tomorrow night at the Coliseum at halftime of the Garfield Roosevelt game. We're going to have the two coaches on together, Lorenzo Hernandez of Garfield and Aldo Parral of Roosevelt, both having wonderful seasons. In fact, Roosevelt's undefeated 8-0 and Garfield 6-2, and more importantly, they're both 4-0 in the Eastern League. And we're also going to have Bella Rasmussen on, who set a state record, becoming the first girl to score 2 touchdowns in a high school game in California. Excited to have Bella aboard tonight as well. And she scored 2 touchdowns. She plays at Laguna Beach High School. She did that against Cadinas last week. We'll get to her in a moment. Tarek Vital joins me. Tarek, I know it's an interesting week. We have a lot of good things to talk about, but you're excited about a young lady, not just Bella, soccer player, Alyssa. Phenomenal player, Alyssa Thompson.
That's right, yeah, Alyssa Thompson. So I always kind of tell people, if you took, in the major sport, if you had a high school varsity basketball player, a boys basketball player, and he got invited to play with the U.S. men's national basketball team on any Olympic level, it would probably lead SportsCenter. Well, this is what Alyssa Thompson did. She's 17 years old, plays high school soccer at Harvard Westlake. She's a senior, and she got called up to play against England and Spain this past week, and what an awesome experience it was for her. So I've had the pleasure of covering her through her high school career, and then got a chance to sit down and have a one-on-one with her this past week, and it was just a great experience listening to her talk about all her travels. And she played at Wembley Stadium in front of 80,000 people. That's pretty cool.
How much fun is that? And of course, with all the things you do at the Daily News, that had to be exciting for you to talk to a young lady like that.
Yeah, because I think, she's got an NIL deal with Nike already, and I just think there are certain athletes, you can always say, hey, I knew her when, she was just walking the hallways of Harvard Westlake, and so she's on to bigger, better things.
Let's take a look at some of the key games from last week. And I know this was a big one in the Mission League. Chaminade wanted to get tested. Well, they got tested by Bishop Amat. In fact, most people thought Bishop Amat may win this football game. But hey, in the end, the Eagles pulled it out.
Yeah, so Chaminade stays unbeaten. They're 8-0, and I kind of felt like Chaminade might have been the favorite down there. But that was actually Chaminade's first ever win at Bishop Amat in program history, and that's David Machuca, first-year coach. So quite the nod for him.
Another game that was interesting to me, Thousand Oaks. We knew going in MOORPARK would test them. They did, but T.O. remains unbeaten.
That's another team. Again, I always repeat, I have to say, Thousand Oaks is a team that I think had a 25-game losing streak. That's 2 straight seasons not winning a game, and then they hire Evan Yabu, and he's in his 3rd year, and here they are 8-0, and they're going to be Canyon League champions.
We talk about these territorial games. One of them's in Downey, Warren High School and Downey. This was their 65th meeting.
Wow.
Warren leads that series, although it's close, 49-22. Nico Iamaleva, the quarterback of Warren, throws 4 touchdowns in this game and 283 yards. He's on his way to Tennessee. A lot of people believe he's the best quarterback in America.
Malachi Nelson might have something to say about that.
I know that, but he's being billed by his coach, Scott Pearson, as the best in America.
Okay, that's fair, and that's his coach, so of course he's got to say that. But yeah, I think at the end of the day in high school football, in my opinion, guarding the pass is very difficult. So when you got a guy that can put it wherever he wants, that's going to generally result in wins.
In fact, I think his head coach is Kevin Pearson. Scott's his twin brother who coaches the baseball. But the Pearsons are all at Warren. The other game of note last week for us was El Camino Real beating Taft in the battle for Woodland Hills. ECR now has won 5 straight games. They get Birmingham this week. It's going to be a tough assignment for them. But that's a great win for the Royals to win 5 games away from their own home.
I think I always have to remind people, El Camino Real is a team that doesn't have a home field right now. So they're playing all that game. That was the battle for Woodland Hills at Reseda, in Reseda at Cleveland High School.
Cleveland High School.
Kind of a funny game there.
Here's a highlight or two. This is Devin Howard getting really a walk-in touchdown. By the way, Taft doesn't have a home field either, because they're working on their field as well. So neither one of these teams have played at home all year. Here's another short touchdown. I believe this is Hall on a quarterback sneak that got in. So Taft was able to fight hard, battle to the very end, but there was just too much power for El Camino Real. Jason Zabalik's got his team playing well. I don't know if they'll beat Birmingham. That's going to be a tough assignment, but give them credit for winning 5 in a row on the road.
Absolutely. And hey, you know what? I know El Camino was the Division II champion last year, and they're going to be in probably Division I this year. So all you can ask for is progress and getting better, and that's what they're doing.
Yeah, right now they're like the 13th ranked team in L.A. City. Well, it's that time. We want to bring Bella in, Bella Rasmussen. 2 touchdowns last week against Godinez High School. She's a senior at Laguna Beach High, and I just think this is a wonderful story.
It is. It's a great story. It's a great story. Can't wait to talk to her.
And Bella's a 4.0 student. We like that. So let's bring Bella into the show right now. And I think you're going to like this young lady. I had an engaging conversation with her earlier in the week. Bella, great to have you on the program tonight, and congratulations on scoring the 2 touchdowns. It had to be a wonderful moment for you. Now, you were telling me you didn't know when you scored that second touchdown that was history in California.
Yeah, I had no idea. I was just so excited already to score. It was something that had been a goal of my coaches and I. We've been talking about it for so many weeks and months, really. And, scoring the first time was already a goal. It was a dream come true. And scoring twice was just, even more awesome. But to see later on that night, to find out that it was a state record and to find out that it would soon be history was something that I never would have expected. And it wasn't part of the plan, but it's an awesome part of the goal.
Everyone keeps asking, why is Bella Rasmussen playing varsity football, taking the hits? You know how the guys are. They're macho. But you have proven now that a young lady can succeed at the varsity level. What does this mean for the game for girls to be able to play tackle football?
I really just hope it broadens the viewpoint of a lot of people, both men and women. I hope that it allows men to be able to be more accepting maybe of women in the sport, and also for women to feel like they can believe in themselves. And, I think there's a lot of girls in this world who know a lot about football, probably some that know more than I do, and would love to play the sport, but are so intimidated by the idea of going out and, putting themselves in the position to look bad or putting themselves in the position to make mistakes. And I think making mistakes is just part of the learning process. And I hope that a lot of girls realize that this isn't something that's, out of this world crazy. It should be part of the normal, and I hope it becomes part of the normal.
Bella, you kind of said before the show you had a brother or brothers that played football. Talk to me a little bit about going to your parents and going, you know what, I want to play football too, and I want to play tackle football. What was that conversation like?
So I think my parents were already super nervous about my brother playing, but after a couple years of watching him, I think they felt a little bit better about it. But I still think that any parent, when they hear their 6-year-old daughter come up to them and say, I want to play tackle football with a bunch of boys, I don't think that's any parent's first dream. I think it's probably pretty scary, but, my parents have never discouraged me. They never told me, oh, you can't do that. I mean, they were worried, but it was never a worry of, I don't believe in your goals, I don't believe in your aspirations. It was more of I just hope you don't get hurt. But I think that they definitely were part of the reason why I felt confident enough to take care of myself on the field and to put on pads every day and go to practice and, participate in the drills and everything. So I think my parents have always been very supportive.
That's great. Bella, what has tackle football and playing with the guys, mixing with that group, taught you about life? In a life lesson, what have you learned?
Ooh, I think I've learned so many different things throughout the last couple years of my life. I shouldn't say couple years, my whole life at this point. Just there's so much to be taken away from football when it comes to hard work, determination, self-belief, mental toughness. There's so many things that you can take away, but I think most of all, it's such a cliche saying, but it's you can do anything that you put your mind to, and I think that's something that we need to take into all of our lives. And I also believe that everything is meant to be and everything happens the way it should. And I absolutely believe that, with all the support that I've had and even with all the not supportive people, I mean, I think that this was definitely, there was a greater purpose to me playing football, and I definitely didn't see it until now. And I just hope it inspires more people. I hope that people believe in themselves a little bit more today after they see this.
Kind of piggybacking on what you just said, has there been a reception of maybe younger girls that come to the football games on Friday nights, or through your experience playing high school football, girls that think to themselves, you know what, I want to play high school football. Bella's doing it. Have you been able to be maybe spearhead that venture at all?
Yeah, actually, what's super cool is this year we had another girl join our football team. Her name is Mitzi. She plays on our freshman team, our frosh soft team, and she plays kicker. And, coming up, I remember I met her for the first time, and she was talking about how she'd always heard about how I had played football, and it really helped her find the confidence to play. And, ever since I've been hoping to help her get used to football and get used to all the new aspects of it. And then as well as that, my little cousin also, she's like, I think she's 7, and she just joined a flag football league as well because she knew that I played football. And, to find out that it's people that I've really met is already awesome. But, just through all the publicity that's happened ever since I scored, there's girls literally from all across the world, all across the country especially, that are texting me saying, I play football. I want to go in on Friday night. I want to play. How did you get through this? And it's incredible. Like, you don't understand how many girls are actually playing football until now. It's a lot more popular than people think it is.
Well, now you have to play another big game tomorrow. In your league, I think it's the Pac-4 League, Laguna Beach has to play Westminster, and that's a big game. If you're going to win the conference, the league title, you got to win tomorrow night. With all this crush of interviews that you've been getting all week, can you get your mind back on the task at hand, winning a league title and playing against Westminster tomorrow night?
That's definitely something that I've had to push through this week, having to juggle, staying committed to my team, being at practice, being on time, while also, trying to please everyone. And there's so many people that want to talk to me, and it's this amazing opportunity. But at the end of the day, I'm there for my team. I want to be on the team. I want to support my teammates, and I want to do as the coaches asked me to do. And that comes first at the end of the day. So, after when 7 o'clock rolls around, my mind will definitely 100% be on the fact that we need to win this game. We need to play against this team, and let's go win a championship. Let's go be league champs. And hopefully go off to CIF.
Bella, you've gotten all kinds of attention, right? You've set records, you're on TV, but you're taking it with such humility. Where did you learn that? And talk to me a little bit about that approach. And despite all the light and all the TV, you seem to be so even keel about it.
I think it came a lot from my parents. My parents were always like, be who you are, but be humble. It's like no one wants a cocky person. No one wants someone that's talking all about their accomplishments. That doesn't inspire anyone. That doesn't make anyone feel good about themselves. If anything, it makes people turn away. And as well as that, our coach, my head coach, he has been teaching us all over and over and over again. He's like, be respectful, young people, be good young men and women. And, you have to have your manners. You have to say please and thank you every single time. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's just, it's important to show good manners, because at the end of the day, every single interaction you have with someone else, it needs to leave them feeling better than when they first started talking to you. And I think that that's something that I've taken with me and I probably will for the rest of my life, because it's improved the way that I view the world. It's improved the way that I have conversations with people. And I think it's just so important to stay humble. If I was out boasting about this accomplishment, I don't think it would get nearly the publicity that it does. And to me, it wasn't even about the publicity or having people talk to me. It was just, I just wanted to do this. I just wanted to contribute to my team. So it's been pretty great, but definitely my parents and Coach Shanahan are a huge reason why I've been able to handle it so well.
Well, Bella, it's been a pleasure for us to get to know you. Congratulations on your achievement. You should be very proud. Good luck tomorrow against Westminster.
3 touchdowns.
No, I think she's going to score 2
3
touchdowns. I think she's going to get 2 or 3 the following week against Ocean View. We wish you the best, and thanks a lot for joining us, and congratulations.
Thank you so much again for having me, guys.
All right, it was a lot of fun. Class act, huh?
Great, yeah, no, absolutely. It's just so taken back by her humility and just kind of knowing she's doing more than just scoring 2 touchdowns, right? Like it's the platform, it's what you're trying to accomplish, and she's setting an example, and that might be the most important thing of all.
Setting an example, well, that's what they do at the Garfield Roosevelt game. For 10 years in a row, Garfield won this thing, and it goes back all the way to 1925, this rivalry, this East L.A. Classic, this Super Bowl of East L.A. But Roosevelt broke through last year, 22-19. And it's a game tomorrow at the Coliseum where they expect, I'm hearing now, 35 to 40,000. The Black Eyed Peas are going to be doing a half-an-hour show at the break. That'll be great. And we're privileged, and I think this shows a lot of class, speaking of the word class, on the 2 head coaches. We got them both here tonight, and they're going to come on together. Aldo Parral, who we've had on before, terrific guy, and I've known Lorenzo Hernandez at Garfield for many years as well, another great guy. I want to say it's a rivalry, but it's a friendly rivalry, and that's great to see.
Yeah, anytime you're going to get 40,000 out to an event, you know it's big time. So I'm sure there's a little pride at stake, but at the end of the day, it's community. That's what builds this thing. And so looking forward to talking to these guys.
All right, gentlemen, first and foremost, how would you put Bella Rasmussen into your offense? I know at Roosevelt you run it all the time. Aldo, how does Bella fit into your attack?
You know, she'd be a wing, obviously. She would definitely do well. One of the things I was most impressed with Bella was, like you guys both mentioned, her humility. I mean, she's just a class act. She's a great kid. Male, female, I don't care. She's just a great human being, and those are the type of players that any coach really enjoys being around and having them as part of your team.
And Lorenzo, you said last year you had 8 young ladies come out for football at Garfield?
Yeah, we had 8 and ended up with 2. So we're really excited. And, I'm just proud of Bella and what she's doing, serving as a role model, just like our young ladies did. So that's just something that's tremendous, not only now, but in the future, and continuously continue to grow that population of our athletes.
Lorenzo, talk a little bit about kind of just the build up to the game. How do you keep your guys not, there's emotion, right? You want to play with emotion, but you kind of want to let the emotion play with you, so to speak. How do you keep the guys even keel leading up to such a big monumental game that could have 40,000 people in it?
You're absolutely right, Tarek. It's one of those things where you got to find that balance. You got to find that balance and be able to run a somewhat normal practice, but at the same time, understand that there's a lot of key other elements that must take place. So what we try to do is we just try to progress slowly. We try to keep something similar, but at the same time, elevate the energy, and they feed off of that and understand the importance of the game. So there's quite a few things that we do, but one thing that we try to do is try to be consistent what we've done throughout week after week, but just on a little bit larger scale so they can start getting familiar with it. I'm a really big, strong believer when I worked as an equipment manager under Ted Toner at San Diego State in visualization. I'm very big on that. So when I was granted the opportunity to go to the Coliseum and I was able to take pictures and video and bring them, and I sent them out to our boys, and I just said, I need you to watch this for 30 minutes a day. Just look at it, see it, and start training your mind. So it's a lot of things like that that we try to do to kind of give that even keel effect for our boys.
Although you have a lot at stake here. One, you're the reigning champions of this game. You have the trophy because you won last year, 22-19. You have a perfect season on the line. You're 8-0. You have some great wins. I mean, you knocked off a Marine League school in Carson early in the year, and that caught my attention. That means you can play football and you can be physical. And you have that open division where both of you are in consideration to be in the open. Obviously, one of you are going to get in, and maybe both of you will be in the final 8 in the open. So there's so much at stake. How does your team handle that pressure, Aldo? I mean, there's so much on your plate with this game.
That's an excellent question, Randy. I think one of the keys is just letting the kids know, hey, we just got to go one game at a time. And that's pretty much been our mantra. We're not looking beyond Friday. That's really the truth of how we've been handling this whole situation. I think one of the biggest challenges is, obviously you have all the social media. You have, a lot of noise out there about, how quote unquote good you guys are. But the reality is, we in practice every day out today during our walkthrough, we had to we had to make some comments that probably, made the kids realize, hey, you're not as good as you think you are. And so last week we played Bell High School, and on the very first play of the game, they popped a touchdown off a play action pass. And I was glad that happened, because the kids realized at that point, like, hey, you know what? We can't just show up and win. And so I think that's just part of the formula. You got to just make sure that you do the best job you can as a coach to set the table and let kids know, hey, we need to do this one day at a time, one game at a time. And so far things have been working out pretty well, and we'll find out tomorrow how, what happens next.
This question's for both coaches. Aldo, I want to hear it from you first. I hate to put like a negative connotation on such a great halftime show coming, Black Eyed Peas, but it's going to be a 30-minute halftime. Coach, you know, that's like we got NFL coaches prepare for Super Bowl halftimes. What are we going to do during that time? How are we going to fill that space? It's like two separate games. Can you guys each talk about what you might have planned, or maybe an approach? We don't want to give away the secret sauce, but you have an approach for halftime. What are you going to do with those guys for 30 minutes?
That's a great question. Actually, that's what happened last year. Last year, we came out, we put up 22 points in the first half. And, you know, now we have to sit for half an hour as we wait. It was obviously the Black Eyed Peas weren't there, but we had our regular bands, you know, do their show, the performances, and it was great. And then we came out in the second half, and it was like a totally different game. So, you know, Garfield comes back, puts up 19, and luckily, you know, things worked out for us at the end. But the point being, though, that is a huge challenge. So one of the things that we decided to do this year is I told my coaches, they weren't very happy about it, but I said, hey, we got to get our, you know, our points in. We got to make sure we get our adjustments in real quick once we go into half. And hopefully we're done within 10 minutes of that. And we're just going to let the kids enjoy the rest of the show. It's a once in a lifetime experience. You know, I don't know how Lorenzo is going to handle it. And honestly, I don't care, because, you know, I need to do what's best for my kids. And you know, this is an experience, you know. There's no way you're going to talk for 30 minutes and get the kids' attention while the rest of the stadium is watching and hearing to, you know, the Black Eyed Peas. I'm sorry. So I just think that's how we're going to approach it, and hopefully it works out for us.
Lorenzo, same question. You want to answer?
Yeah. I'm glad Coach doesn't care, because I don't care what they do. So,
Oh, we got him going.
Yeah, here we go.
being frank. But no, we have a plan. We have an approach, and my whole thing has always been we are here. We are here for the kids, and I think we have goals, and we have certain things that we set forth early on in the season. And one of those things is assuring that our kids get in the open, assuring our kids fight for a section championship. We could listen to the Black Eyed Peas any other time. We could pretend that they're live and blast the music as loud as we want. But realistically, our goal is to be there, to play a game, to hopefully win that game and be moving forward into a section championship. So we do have a plan of a breakdown with, you know, some light, obviously stretching and things of that nature, but we got it all packed in to where we understand what we want to do. And ultimately, as much as I want to enjoy it, I'm not there for that. I'm there to make sure that my kids, you know, are able to get to where we need to be upon those goals that was set early on in the year.
I promised Aldo Parral I'd ask him about his running back, Jared Andrade, because I know you think Jared is a special player and does not get enough attention. Jared Andrade, what's he all about?
Oh man, Jared is he's a human highlight in himself. I mean, he's a great ball player. He's got a great sense of the game. We've had, you know, one school that sent out a letter. I think he's just a diamond in the rough, and you know, he's got remarkable vision. He's just you know, he plays both ways, which is something that a lot of kids don't do. As a matter of fact, most of our team, you know, we only have a core. Even though there's like 30, I think we have 37 kids on the squad, there's probably about 18 or 19 kids that are constantly playing for us. And so Jared is one of those guys. He plays offense and defense. He's a great linebacker as well. But he is literally a man playing with boys. And, you know, I just hope that some college who's looking for a darn good running back with an excellent work ethic, a kid that's a yes, sir, no, sir type of kid, you know, that's what you're going to get with Jared. He's just a remarkable young man. I've known him since he was 10, and this kid is just special. Hopefully, like I said, a college is willing to take a chance on him. He's very intelligent. Academically, I want to say he's like a 3.4, something like that. Wants to become a physical therapist. And but, you know, like I said, hopefully there's a college that will you know, make an offer or even just come out and take a look at him. Hell, they could look at watch that game on Friday if they, you know, on tape somewhere, or just reach out to me, and I'll be more than happy to provide all the film that they will need in order to make a decision.
Well, right now, Garfield's got the upper hand, 43-41 with 6 ties. Garfield's won 10 out of the last 11. Of course, Roosevelt broke that 10-game winning streak last year. Lorenzo, you've done a tremendous job at Garfield. Good luck. Thank you for joining us. Aldo, same thing. Your wing tee, whatever you call it, it's impossible to stop. Right now, you're averaging almost 50 points a game. So, gentlemen, have a great game. Enjoy the 40,000. Enjoy the Black Eyed Peas if you can. And congratulations. And personally, I hope you both get to the Open Division. And thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
All right. My pleasure. Tark, it's the game, man. It's the game.
There was a little bit of animosity there, and I think I like it. No, I'm kidding. Those guys are class all the way, and at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for your team. There's one goal tomorrow night, and that's win the game.
Win the game. All right, I got a few games here listed we want to talk about briefly before we say goodbye. Starting with Sierra Canyon at CHAMINADE. Now, Sierra Canyon suddenly is playing a little bit better. They were shaky early, so that record there may be misleading, right?
That is the battle for San Fernando Valley supremacy right there, my friend. I will be in West Hills for that game. Everyone's going to be at that game right there, Randy. That game is, I think the kids say the game's going to be
Roosevelt.
lit.
40,000
yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, you know what? I take it back. You're right. But this game is going to be really exciting, and let me tell you why. Because Sierra Canyon could win tomorrow night, and out of nowhere, they're in contention for a Mission League title. So they started with a loss against Bishop Almont, have won 2 games in a row, and now they're in West Hills. Yes, a light bulb might have gone off for those Trailblazers.
Corona Del Mar at Newport Harbor. I mean, these are teams we don't talk about a lot. But in that area, this is a great rivalry game.
Yeah, another one. Similar to the Roosevelt Garfield in a sense, right? Community. Everyone kind of wants bragging rights when you're walking down the street or, surfing certain waves. I don't know, maybe that's what they have bragging rights over there. But, I think Corona Del Mar is probably the team that I think is going to win that game.
I do too. How about Dorsey Crenshaw? We jump back into the city. Crenshaw won last week. It's hard to see a Robert Garrett team at 2-6. Stephon Johnson's got Dorsey moving a little bit. They're the favorite in the Coliseum League. But if Crenshaw stuns them in this rivalry game, the Shaw could jump back into it.
That's what rivalry games are about. You really just don't always know what to expect. You can expect high-level emotion and competition, but the final score is always a question mark. But give me Stephon Johnson and Dorsey in that one.
Yeah, I agree with that. But, Robert Garrett, he's been a special coach for a long time.
Yes, he has.
Crenshaw. He's a little bit different. I've told him I think he's odd, but he's great for the city. But he's great for the city. His kids love him, and they will play all out tomorrow night for Robert Garrett. I agree with you. I think Dorsey wins the game, but the Crenshaw kids will give 100% effort. And now the final game we want to talk about, Garfield, Roosevelt. I had to put it up on the board. Tarek, who do you like in this one? And I think this one really could go either way.
I think I'm going to go Garfield in a stunner.
I don't know that that's a stunner.
Well, because they're not the unbeaten team. You can't say Roosevelt isn't the quote-unquote odds-on favorite in this game. I know we can't talk odds for high school football, but my guess is Roosevelt is the team to beat in that game.
I think it's a picket game. I think Garfield's going to win it. I think they had a little bit of momentum at the end of the year last year, and they lost a heartbreaker to Roosevelt because they had a horrible first half. I think Garfield's got incentive because they lost last year to get that trophy back. But you're right. I mean, it would be looked at as a mild upset.
Right. Yeah. If that's what you want to call it, stunner, shocker. Look, a team's 8-0. Look, Sierra Canyon's playing Chaminade tomorrow night. Chaminade's 8-0. They're the team to beat. Anytime someone hasn't lost, they're the team to beat. That's how I look at high school football. I think Garfield gets in there and goes to 7-2.
Yeah, we agree, and I think they're both going to get into the Open Division. Last ad on Bella. Wasn't that a treat to talk to Bella Rasmussen?
Yeah. That's I don't know which producer got her on, but I think I'm kidding.
Hey, let's give credit to Larry Zavala.
Yeah, absolutely. But listen, anytime you get an athlete like that, especially think about being a high school young person and getting all this attention. I'm 17, I'm 18 years old, and I'm on like USA Today. Oh man, I'm walking through the hallways like I'm like I can't be touched. But she's clearly not like that, and really a humble and sweet young lady. So wish her all the best of luck, and I hope she gets 3 touchdowns in the game this year.
Yeah, that would be great if she did that. I'll just take 2 more, and I'll be thrilled. And we thank Bella for being aboard. We thank the 2 coaches, the 2 respective coaches from Garfield and Roosevelt, Lorenzo Hernandez and Aldo Parral. It was great to have them. Hope it's a phenomenal game. I'm sure that they'll have a huge crowd, and the Black Eyed Peas will entertain everyone. We'll try to entertain you again next week right here on SoCal Prep Report. For this guy, Tarek Fattal, I'm Randy Rosenbaum. We'll see you next week right here at 9 o'clock. Good night, everybody.